I don't have bubble bath or champagne, but I think my message is equally important. What's going on in GameStop paints a much grimmer picture for us to realize what's going on in the capital market and financial markets that reminds us as retail users to take back the kind of power that belongs to us retail users. What's going on in GameStop shows that there's a lot of things that's controlled by the 1% behind the scenes, that we don't really see them, we can't really access them. And it's not wrong or anything, it's just how the economy has evolved because there's the lack of technology then. Today, we realize that there's a limitation to the existing technology that's been used. What happens? There was a short squeeze in GameStop, there was also gamma squeeze in GameStop prices rose by a lot, and what do companies do? These companies, which is kind of affiliated somehow with these hedge funds, what they do is they want retail guys to stop trading. So you can't buy any more stocks, you can only sell, and when you can only sell, you create this FOMO, people sell their stocks, stock prices go down, and the hedge fund people are not so messed up, they're not burnt so badly. So that's what happened. And in detail, what happened was that these different apps, the apps on your phone, where you can use them to buy all these stocks, where you can use them to trade, you can buy options with them, they just shut down the stock. So you can't buy GameStop, you can't buy AMC, you can't buy BB, you can buy a lot of these different stocks. You can't buy the options, you can't buy the asset itself. So they're limiting people's exposure. Retail guys know that the risk that they're taking and they want to go and buy these stocks, but these apps, the gateway, the brokerage, they don't allow people to do that. And that's terrible. That's terrible because this is a free society that we're living in. This is something where we should have the freedom to buy any stocks that we want. We can't be prevented to buy anything just because it's unfavorable to the 0.1% of the world. So what is this telling us? This is telling us that decentralization is very, very important. Decentralization is important because what we're doing in decentralization is to distribute power, distribute the responsibility, distribute the governance and decision making to different kind of people. And we can have a lot of different kind of people. We can have investors involved in the decentralization. We can have the actual users. We can have novice users. It doesn't matter. But the whole point of democracy is everyone gets a vote. As long as you're part of this country, as long as you're part of this society, as long as you're part of this economy or this ecosystem, you're entitled to you're entitled to have a say to how this system would be governed. So this is why decentralization is so important. When you have these kind of centralized applications like Robinhood or like all these other apps, I think Webull is another one, what they do is that they can just shut down their app and you just can't use them anymore because they have the authority to do that because they're centralized in that way. I'm not saying that centralization is wrong. There are a lot of benefits to centralization, but when it comes to these kind of activities or these kind of decisions, that's only benefiting certain types of people, whereas the 99% of the majority don't want that, then centralization might not be the best way forward. So decentralization comes into rescue because decentralization becomes a very important note where we own these stocks or we get to make the decisions of what this technology or this app or this protocol is doing. Decentralization, very important. But decentralization is just the beginning. What do I mean by that? Because decentralization is decentralizing power. What happens when you decentralize power? You have a lot of different messy things going around. And the most important thing is governance. So how do you govern a decentralized system? There are a lot of there are solutions out there. There are new solutions that's coming out. There are new solutions being experimented. But this is key. The key thing is decentralization is not the answer. It's just a means to an end. The end is still much further down the road. The end is really to give community people or give people in the community a power to make decisions, a power to change the rules that they don't like, and not for one centralized authority to say no means no, or we decide to stop, so we decide to stop. That it's affecting all the other users in the system. So this is something that's very, very important. And right now it's a very good, I think it's a good situation, a good lesson for us to learn that there's some limitations in the existing systems that we have. They're good, and they're good up to a certain point. So what is next? What is next in innovation? What is next in line? That's something that we want to look into, and that's something we want to improve. So decentralization, number one, we saw that. Next step, governance. And something to look at is DAOs, D-A-O-S. Decentralized autonomous organizations. We're looking at how do you govern these kind of decentralized ecosystems. And there are a lot of other things in place. So I've spent about 3 years of my life just really writing this book called The Economics and Math of Token Engineering and DeFi, where we look at how do you build a decentralized ecosystem from the ground up, from fundamentals up. Not something in a marketing thing, it's not something you do for PR, but how do you build economically robust systems from ground up where it's decentralized, where it's autonomous, where governance is given to everyone, where it ensures some form of fairness and equity and different kind of distribution to everyone in the ecosystem. Right now, the book is available at book.economicsdesign.com, link below. And if you're a Redditor, then use the code RickAshley to get 15% off. And if you're paying with crypto, you get additional 15% off. So that's it for us to build a decentralized world. Decentralization is really just the beginning. We have to continuously educate ourselves to what extent are we opening this wormhole. It is a big, big hole for decentralization. A lot of things that we don't know, lots of things that we're still exploring, we're still innovating. And so it's very important to educate ourselves if we want to use decentralization to build a better world, or if we want to build a better world in general. We have to start from the ground up. We have to start from fundamentals up. So once again, use the code RickAshley and you can get 15% off and additional 15% off if you pay with crypto. Till then, I'll see you soon. Bye.